Yeah. Blackjack. Life is like a game of cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Yeah. Blackjack. To play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DeLRAY Richardson, Straight Game TV, platinum artist, platinum songwriter. I'm going to get right into it. This question right here today comes from a brother from South Central Los Angeles. And I'm also going to say, the thumbs up, always appreciated. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification if you want to be one of the first peoples to get some of this straight game. The question, like I said, once again, comes from a brother from South Central Los Angeles, California. And the question is, he said he had heard recently somebody saying, or people have been saying that Michael Harris, who was just released from prison after 30 some odd years, heard that Michael Harris didn't actually fund Death Row, and he wasn't responsible for giving the money up to Suge Knight to fund Death Row. He had heard that somewhere. And is that true? And I'm going to say, I don't know where you heard that from, but whoever you heard that from, they don't know what they're talking about. I'm just going to say flat out. And sometimes it defies logic, or people try to defy logic, right? And I guess sometimes they want to have something to say rather than saying nothing. Or if you don't know, then you just don't know, But sometimes people who don't know like to continue talking about what they don't know as if they do know. And this situation here, when you deal with the dynamic of it, this is basically facts. And I'm going to give it to you like this. Remember, if Michael Harris didn't have anything to do with funding Death Row, this picture right here with Michael Harris, Suge Knight, and Lydia Harris wouldn't exist. Because I don't believe that Suge knew Michael Harris prior to meeting David Kenner, and David Kenner was Michael Harris's criminal defense attorney. And though Mr. David Kenner was the one who linked that bridge, and so that could be possible, right? Now, sometimes, a lot of times when you moving, you might can't move like that. You might, your folks might be still holding you down. You got a stash, you know what I mean? And you can make things happen, but the money gonna come from somewhere else. It ain't gonna come directly from him, right? So you make a phone call, and things, they happen. You understand what I'm saying? And from what I understand, Mr. Harris, Michael Harris, he was a pretty powerful dude. You know what I mean? And as you see, he just was released. He looking good, look like everything's all right, and blessings to him and his family, you know what I mean? And that he can see the streets once again, So like I said, that picture right there wouldn't exist. That was in prison. Suge Knight went to see Michael Harris in prison to talk business. Now, usually, once again, being able to get into prison, and this was also a well-known fact that Mr. Kenner was able to get Michael Harris, was able to get Suge Knight into the prison. You know what I mean? Because it was certain things that you can and can't do as far as the federal bureaus of prisons is concerned. You have to be like on the legal team or something like that in regards to, getting into the prison. I don't know if Suge had priors or whatever that was, but somehow, some way, David Kenner got Suge Knight to be able to go see Michael Harris in prison, basically so they could talk business. These are well-known facts, right? So I don't know where you heard that from. People are trying to change history. Once again, you can't change that. Death Row wouldn't have been Death Row without Michael Harris. Let's be clear. Another thing, I don't know if you remember this, but if you remember, Suge Knight had gotten trouble for I believe pistol whipping some guys that were in the studio because they were using the phone, right? But the reason why was because the phone that they were using, that they were unaware of, was the phone that Michael Harris would usually call on from prison at that time, right? Right. These are well-known facts, right? And so with that being said, it behooves me that anybody would say anything regarding Mr. Harris. I don't know if they were associated with Death Row, because you got to understand, without him, they wouldn't have any kind of information in regards to that, because there would be no Death Row as we knew it. It may have came from somewhere else, but I'm not talking about possibilities. I'm not talking about what coulda, woulda, shoulda happened. I'm talking about what actually did happen. You understand what I'm saying? And so, you know, as it got even thicker, you know what I mean? There was also a federal investigation. I'm gonna give it to you like this, and basically says, as for Michael Harris bankrolling Death Row, Jimmy Iovine told federal investigators that he had heard a rumor about it in 1994 or 1995, but it was still not until December of 1995 when Harris threatened to sue the company, claiming that he owned half of it, that Iovine took the rumor seriously. If this was true, then Iovine was strangely insulated. For in LA music circles, Harris's role was widely gossiped about. Indeed, in the summer of 1995, months before Harris wrote to Iovine about his intentions to sue, the head of Time Warner Music Division, Michael Fuchs, made an overture to arrange a prison meeting with Harris. He was trying to decide whether the company should yield to the political pressure about gangster rap and sell its interest to Interscope. And he believed that it might well be Harris, not Knight, who could speak with authority to Time Warner about the future direction of Death Row. The meeting never took place because Time Warner executives and the board of directors quickly decided that the company should shed its troublesome investment by selling its 50% stake back to Interscope. Interscope was able to exploit that rebuff by turning around and selling the 50% stake to MCA Music Entertainment Group, known as Universal, for a profit of roughly $100 million. Now, these people over here at Interscope and Time Warner, once again, the same people that I told you that bailed out Tupac, right? Not Suge Knight, right? These people are the heavyweights. You know, I just keep it 100. And so what they were doing, because they understood, all you had to do was your research. If you had lawyers on the team, all you had to do is go and get your lawyer or your corporate lawyer, say it for Interscope or Time Warner, and look up Michael Harris's case and just see what he was about. You understand what I'm saying? And so, and like how he was moving, he was a major leaguer. He wasn't playing no games. You know what I mean? And when you think about the money or whatever they said that he had put up, you got to ask yourself, okay, well, who was his lawyer on the case? Oh, David Kenner. Oh, Kenner's his lawyer. You don't think that lawyers know lawyers in L.A., be it criminal, civil, divorce lawyers? I mean, it's a very small melting pot. You have to understand that. So like I said to the brother from South Central, I don't know where you heard this information, but whoever said that do not know what they're talking about. Furthermore, Mr. Harris did file a lawsuit. You got to understand, Michael Harris is the reason that Death Row went bankrupt. These are facts, y'all. These are facts. So when you deal with the accusation or somebody implying that Mr. Harris wasn't the one who funded Death Row, like I said, you know, it's strictly nonsense. It's nonsense. And so when you understand that, the people, the executive, Michael Fuchs, who's the executive at Time Warner, basically said that, hey, they thinking that they need to talk to Michael Harris, because Michael Harris, being the one who financed the situation, could be the one to speak with Time Warner, who would have the authority to talk about the future of Death Row Records. Let me tell you something. I've never said this before. So, when I first came to LA, like I said, I didn't know who she was, right? But I did an audition. It was on Melrose. Yeah, it was on Melrose. No, Santa Monica Boulevard. And Michael Harris's wife, Lydia Harris, she had this company. I believe it was Godfather Entertainment at that time. I'm not sure about the name, right? But I actually auditioned for Lydia Harris. It was a sound stage on Santa Monica Boulevard. It's this place where they used to, like, if you're going on tour, before you go on tour, it's this place where you would rehearse before you went on tour. And she rented the place out, and they were looking for talent. And I actually auditioned for Lydia Harris. Check this out. She was so dipped. I mean, like when I went in for I was like, and they were sitting behind this table, but she had like the Rolex. She had the, you could just tell she looked like money. And I was just like, I was wondering, I'm like, who is this lady? Who is she? Like, I'm asking, like, who is she? Because I can recognize, money when I see it. I can recognize somebody having it their way when I see it, right? And so it wouldn't be till years later that I would find out who she was. I was like, oh, when the information in regards to Death Row and Michael Harris putting up the money came to light. So I was like, wow, and so it's interesting. So like I said to the brother from South Central, I don't know, where you heard that from or who's giving out this information, but I think their level of information is limited. Or once again, the cognitive dissonance thing, some people only like to focus on what they want to focus on and say the things that they want to say to get you to listen or to benefit them and for the narrative that they're trying to work through at that particular time. And so, yeah, but Michael Harris was that guy. And like I said, we wouldn't have had none of the things, your Doggy Style, your Chronic, your All Eyes on Me. None of those things would have been possible. Even, I wouldn't say the bail of Tupac Shakur, but the situation that led to Interscope and Atlantic putting up the bail money to bring Tupac to Death Row to still record because they really couldn't handle him anymore. I would honestly say that wouldn't have happened either, because the structure wouldn't have been there. I'm not saying that there would have been no other situation that would have occurred where they would have got Tupac out of jail, but that situation in coming to Death Row, because there would have been no Death Row if it wasn't for Michael Harris. You can give me all of the possibilities. You can give me all of the speculation. You can give me all of the like I said, once again, the coulda, woulda, shouldas. I'm not talking about none of those. I'm talking about actually how it went down and actually how it happened. Dr. Dre and him, launching the way that he launched, all of everything, the troubles, the good, the bad, the ugly that went down with Death Row. It all had tentacles to end up in Tupac's death. It all had tentacles to Dr. Dre doing what he's doing now, damn near being a billionaire. It all has tentacles, for Snoop leaving Death Row, going to No Limit, to now Snoop doing what he's doing, how great he's doing, and all of the other things. Like I said, and so once again, anybody that tells you anything like that, don't listen to them, because they don't know what they're talking about. Your boy DeLRAY, straight game.